try something else. At some point, you have to admit, maybe you don't have the arm to be quarterback. Maybe you don't have the looks to be a model. Maybe you don't have the wit to be a comedian. Kamala Harris still hasn't realized she doesn't have what it takes to be president or vice president or anything else that involves leadership. Kamala Harris has launched her, well, we've lost count, 5th rebrand tour, trying to get America to fall in love with her and make sure Biden doesn't kick her off the ticket. You can call this a rebrand. Her first stop was on the Stephen Colbert Show. Now, these types of shows are highly choreographed. 2 or 3 pre-interviews before showtime. Kamala knows every question she's going to get asked. It's all rehearsed. So it should be a slam dunk for the VP. But it was a disaster. Colbert eased into it, reminding the audience that Kamala shatters.
My first guest this evening is the Vice President of the United States. She's the first woman, the first Black American, the first South Asian American to hold the office. Please welcome back to The Late Show, Vice President Kamala Harris.
And the audience is all warmed up. They know they're in the presence of a shatterer. But then Kamala made a big mistake. There's a TV show called Veep. It's about an incompetent and awkward, unqualified vice president who's constantly disrespected by the people around her. Take a look.
The past was once the future. The future is, I should say, unknown. It is, in fact, unknowable. This
She's Bebop speaking.
We do have real cars on my street. I'm not sure what a fake car would be. Exactly.
I should be president or something.
I'm about to become president.
Try to serve the people, and then they just you over.
Yep.
And you know why? Because they're ignorant, and they're dumb and that, ladies and gentlemen, is democracy.
The media's been whispering behind Kamala's back for years that she's the real version of Veep. And Kamala, for some reason, which we can't explain, decided to own it and said, yeah, that's me. My job's a blooper reel.
I know you love Veep.
I do. I love it. Is it accurate?
There are bits of it that are actually quite accurate. And a member of my team decided to do something really sweet for me. So I was out of my office in the West Wing. I was having a meeting across the street, and we're walking back toward my office, and he says, I need to tell you something. So I decided when you were in that meeting to light the fireplace. But he forgot to open the flute. So Secret Service was like, ma'am, you could not go back to your office.
Holy cow.
It's hilarious. So this one should be easy. What's your job?
What is the actual role on a daily basis as you have found it?
Well, I have the great privilege of serving with Joe Biden, who was president of the United States. And was vice president, right?
Does that affect it? Does he understand what it's like to be vice president?
He does. And he really is a true partner. He's an extraordinary leader.
That's an excellent answer. And the question was, what is the job of the vice president?
So that could have been better. What about something easier? What do you love about America?
What is it that is, to coin a phrase, great about America and that kindles your love for it?
There's so much. There's so much. And you're right, and I have the blessing and privilege of traveling all over our country. I meet people who are just the people who are the ones who are the most optimistic about what is possible. I look at who we are. We believe in freedom and liberty as Americans, and we fight for it.
Is Kamala rebranding as Reagan? Freedom and liberty across America? No one's buying it. So Kamala is falling back on her resume. When she ran for president, she was always talking about being a prosecutor. Remember, she was going to prosecute the case against Trump, lock him up. And she dropped that brand once people started adding up the numbers and figured out Kamala locked up about 2,000 people for smoking dope. The left didn't like that. But now prosecutor Kamala is back.
As you know, most of my career I spent as a prosecutor, and I declared that we, the United States of America, believe that Russia has committed crimes against humanity. As a former prosecutor, I understand the significance of reviewing and looking at the evidence and comparing it to the law, we are looking at a situation where, and again, as a former prosecutor,
See, America, she's qualified. Unlike the other guy, nope, not Trump. CBS has decided to pick Kamala against DeSantis.
What do you make of someone like Governor DeSantis, who is saying that this is not in America's strategic interest to side with Ukrainians?
So, as vice president, I have now met with over 100 world leaders. Presidents, prime ministers, chancellors, and kings. And when you have had the experience of meeting and understanding the significance, again, of international rules and norms and the importance of the United States of America standing firm and clear, if you really understand the issues, you probably would not make statements like that.
So Kamala's met kings and DeSantis hates drag queens. That's the contrast they want. The Democrats see Ukraine as a win and are already painting DeSantis as a clueless backwater governor. But Kamala has to be careful on her left flank. She was heckled by anti-war libs going into the studio. But that's not going to stop Team Kamala. Kamala's on a search and destroy mission to take out DeSantis. The White House has designated Harris and her husband to dirty up Ron early.
Just going to a school meeting, you see that hate that is out there. We've got to step up and speak out, and we've got to call out the cowards out there. People, as my wife likes to say, these so-called leaders, but she's right. Because you can't be in leadership if you're not going to lead.
So Dougie Not So Fresh is taking on toxic masculinity and Ron DeSantis. This is part of the rebrand. Doug and Kamala are America's new power couple. Perhaps the first couple. Just giving you a taste. Kind of like he gave Jill. No more making out with the First Lady. He's got his wife's back, and she's totally normal. She swears she's not crazy.
She's like normal. She's exceedingly normal. She's an awesome wife. She loves to have fun.
Doug doesn't want to give up his gig as second gentleman. He's got the toxic masculinity Avenger role. So, he won't let a real man anywhere near the White House. That's why Gavin Newsom was allowed to waltz right in. But Joe's not looking too hot, and the ground's shifting. Can you feel it? Banking system shaky, Russian jets slamming into our drones, and every week we find out about another Biden getting paid by China. Joe needs to have all his ducks in a row for 2024. Kamala's a liability, but she's going to be on the ticket whether you like it or not.